Guess I've cracked up all the way. I don't know.
I mean, that's the reason you're smiling.
Probably.
Or you look like you're really... What are you laughing about?
I don't know.
Huh?
Were you doing something to me?
Not surprisingly, the experiments were controversial, but the electrodes did have an effect, especially near an area of the brain called the nucleus accumbens. Heath even let his patients control their own stimulation.
I find this button the best.
That's number 2 button.
Most pleasurable.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
I made a small joke yesterday. I don't know if I should repeat it or not.
I'd like to hear it.
Do you think it's worth repeating?
I sure do.
What about the very deep electrode all the way down?
You're trying to tell me how it excites you, is that it?
No, I think it's somewhat of a sexy button.
Oh. Is that why you said it went all the way down?
Perhaps we get pleasure from drugs because they stimulate the same brain areas as sex and food. Working in Montreal in the 1950s, James Olds devised a crucial test. He worked out a new way to, in effect, ask animals how they felt.
This is a device which trains the animal to turn on the stimulus for himself. Here you notice the animal wandering toward the pedal. When he first touches it, he gets no stimulation. It's not connected yet. Then, one time he touches the pedal, it does turn on the stimulation. You can see the lights go on.
Now, the interesting thing about the old stimulation, the rewarding stimulation, was the strength of it. It was somewhat different than rewarding stimulation for food and water in that there was no satiation. Animals would continue for hours and hours and didn't seem to satiate. They didn't feel full. They would just keep doing it for long periods of time. They would do it to exhaustion.
Now, I will electrify the grid. The animal must cross an area that gives a very painful shock to the feet in order to get to the pedal and stimulate the brain.
And a rat wanting brain stimulation would brave a shock stronger than even a starving rat would brave to get food.
This shows a rat is willing to pay a very high price in order to get to the pedal.
Human addicts will pay just as high a price for their rewards.
The fascinating thing was that we found in our laboratory that every single drug that increased sensitivity of the animal to brain stimulation was either an abuse substance or a substance that has potential for abuse.
So James Olds' technique of the 50s gave scientists a way of testing for the addictive potential of drugs.